Thank you for staying. Time now for us to dig into the papers. We have a full pack here, and we'll be telling you what they have to say. I'm joined by assisting editor here with us at JoyNews, the man, Samuel Kojo. Yeah. Great. Fabum.
That's what it is. That's what it.
You know what time it is?
Yeah.
My phone.
Yeah, my phone.
You have to go there when you know that.
Yeah.
What do you say?
It's all fine. You know, like in my language.
Yes, you're starting the show with
the mischief.
Yes.
Oh, really? This is not. I mean, I'm trying to. You know, my stepmom is watching me, and I have to speak a bit of a language. My phone. Davi.
When you started the LA, I was even thinking like Bagman. Anyway, so
but you see, in my Hunter language, in the morning we say "Mema wahe," you know, and then you respond, "Ya manumai." Manumai means my brother, you know. So "Ya manumai kedia," you say "Mwoke." You know, so to all my Hunter folks, Kebedia, because there are a lot of people. Kebedia.
You know, I think we have to do something someday with the Hunter caucus.
You have to.
Ably represented by Samuel Kojo.
You have
whenever
to.
He comes.
You have to. You have to. Our language.
Indinao.
Yeah, Indinao is what? What does it mean? You know,
our
language is on the verge of...
You just said good morning, and I'm telling you, you're asking. Anyway, so, there was something, I remember, was it, what's his name? Oh, it just escapes me. Our colleague, I think he's also a hunter.
Oh, Justice.
Justice
Oh,
Beidou.
yeah, Justice Beidou, yeah. In fact, his sister did this for me.
I see.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's the famous...
Yeah, Abby Trent.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
There are questions on my mind, but I'll leave them for later.
Anyway, I mean, later we can talk
Why are you running away?
I'm not running away. You can bring it up.
Once I said that there were things on my mind.
I mean, you know how they ban me, you are no. Hey, Charlie, and a hunter man doesn't run from anything. No, we are brave people. That's why we are.
But according to what Justice Beidou did, I just want to find out, is the hunter language under threat?
Oh, no, yeah, sure. It's been under threat for the past, I think, 2 decades. Yeah.
Wow.
And we are trying to revive it. I mean, I think so far, we can look back and say we've done some incredible job, because even though there's still that threat, but I think that we've been able to make some progress. We set up a community radio station there that primarily uses the language to communicate. So it has
people can latch onto it.
So it has gotten a lot of people to then express interest in the language. We still worry about our major community still, you know, having a chunk of our people speaking Fante. It's not bad, but we're saying that since this is like the local hunter communities, it has to be in the hunter language. So we are trying our best. The fear is that if we don't take care in the next 3 decades or 4, the language can extinct.
It could get to extinction.
Yeah, and you wouldn't want to have your language dying off. So you say that, oh, me a hunter, ni ba minta hunter. I mean, that's something.
I think in that docu that he put together, people were trying to teach their children so that at least there would be some. It's just like species nearing extinction.
You didn't watch it. I was the one teaching my kids to speak hunter. Yeah,
that was you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
we have to go back there.
So the joy bond was.
I think we have to go back to this.
Yeah, we have to. I think the international, is a Mother Tongue Day or something. We have to go back to it.
It's something we could go back to.
Yes.
What is the latest development? Has the situation improved in any way? Are the children, how many of them, for example, are able to speak hunter now? And based on what you told me about that station and all of that, what has been there? I mean, there's a whole lot we could do.
Yeah, sure. You know, I mean, 2 decades ago, we realized that, no, if we don't do anything about it, it will hurt us in the future. So we started doing something about it. I guess that we can go back, like you said, to try and then find out and even improve. What are we not doing right? What can we do right? I think one of the disadvantages is that we are not teaching our language in our schools. In our schools, we learn both Fante and Nzima. So even Nzima is on the lighter note, Fante primarily. So you'd then assume that it is right for a lot of people to be speaking Fante, because when they go to school, the medium of communication is the Fante language and not their Ahanta language. So that's the situation now. We want to find ways that the Ghana Education Service could help us. You know, in the L1 or whatever principle they said, if you can speak with the child, you know, teach the child in his own language, he will do better, you know. So, for instance, my principle is when you come home, my kids, I don't speak English or Fanti with them. It is a hunter. They can speak few words, but it's a progress. So they hear it all the time, and sometimes when you speak it to them, they will understand what you mean. Yeah. And then they will speak, for example, if you ask them Kedia, they will answer it. When they want to tell you they are hungry, they will say it in a hunter. When they want to tell you they want to drink water, they will say it in a hunter. When there are a few things that, and I'm happy about the little progress that we're making. And now if you go to every, like people of my age who are hunters, who have married, we are all, you know, encouraged by the things we see in our homes because we are trying our best to speak hunter to our kids. You see Justice on Facebook with his children trying to speak the hunter, and it's just exciting what we are doing. And it is not only a hunter. Every other language that's under threat, that's something we should do. If you are a Kasina Nankana and your language is under threat, speak it with your children deliberately. It has to be deliberate, you know. Let your children feel proud to speak it. My parents made me feel proud of my language because fortunately or unfortunately, my parents were stark illiterate, and so they couldn't communicate with me in any other language than their hunter language, and it helped me. I built on from there, and I never looked back, you know. And
that turned out to be a blessing.
Oh yeah, sure.
Out of what some people would say was not such.
Yeah. Because I'm proud of myself, being able to speak my language impeccably.
I'll tell you this right before we get into the papers. So, Professor, is it Temi Tokwe? He passed some years back. He hinted at something similar, how sometimes we use westernized stories and all of that, and you're talking about snow and all those things, and children don't have a concept of that here. Yeah. So you can talk about Kalulu the hare in, is it Central or Southern Africa? You can talk about Kwikwanansi here. Yeah. Those are relatable, and these are stories that stir the imagination of children because they are things they can see around Konoria, Kwikwanansi, and stuff like that. And again, I know there's this school, I've just forgotten, it's some sort of foundation. They pick children who are very old, never been to school, but they have a rapid system, I think within 3 to 6 months or so. They start teaching them, but here's what they do. They don't start teaching them in English. They will never, it's practically impossible for them to catch up. Yeah. They teach them in their local language. So rapidly, and they catch up, then they take them to school and they start with the English. Yeah. So the understanding is already there from the source before they start with English. It's doing fabulous stuff up north. So it just got me thinking about our approach to education and maybe bridging the gap when it comes to the illiteracy or the illiterate, population.
Yeah, I mean, if you're using yourself as an example, my mother started telling me duba, mortar, mortar, the fufu mortar. In my language is duba. When you see coconut, they say kuku. When you see chair, it's beer. So when I moved and went to school, and you are telling me, okay, chair means my beer that I know is chair. My duba that I know is mortar. It was easy. Yeah. And I think I didn't do badly at all in the English language. And that's why I feel that for me, I'll let my children have say. Even though I can speak English with them, but no. I'll let them speak their local language. Go to a proper school, go and speak English there. That is fine. You will be okay, So I think that we should all try doing it so that we can keep our local languages, alive.
Thumbs up to you. Let's get into the papers now. I have the Ghanaian Times newspaper, the New Crusading Guide, the Custodian, the Meridian, and the Herald. What do you have?
I have the Daily Graphic, the Daily Guide newspaper, the Daily Analyst, and the publisher, the Ghanaian publisher.
Very quickly with the Ghanaian Times. Agrada's lawyer in court for allegedly assaulting policeman. My wife's placenta has been sent to Italy for analysis. That's a husband. It's about the missing twin saga. And I was talking about this yesterday because I have personally handled, many years ago, about 5-6 years ago, I had to deal with a similar incident as a journalist, and that had to do with another hospital. I don't want to mention the name, but one of our big hospitals here in Accra. And you hear these cases in Kumasi, in Accra, and other places where people say, and this latest one, well, I'll give you some detail, but scans in a private facility, and at 37 showed she was pregnant with twins, yet when she delivered, only one baby was brought to her. In the instance that I covered years back, they had told them one of the twins had died. And and been buried. And the couple insisted, okay, let us see the body. Where
But how would you even bury my baby without my consent?
So it's this situation, but we'll get there. At the end of the 74th ANYC, very interest rates for businesses, and after that is according to the participants. And then 3 cops in trouble over fake CFA 190,000. They are unable to account for exhibit in their possession, I beg your pardon. And you know, it reminds me of the Conte issue.
Yeah, the cocaine turning into Conte.
Sometimes it gets serious. I mean, there are very good, very professional police officers. And I'm saying this. Recently, the visibility patrols, I think they're doing pretty well. Sometimes it's just the visibility effect. Seeing them alone prevents some people who ordinarily would do certain things from doing them. So kudos to them for that. Of course, there are other aspects that maybe, but at least we salute them for that. But some too, Charlie.
I mean, when I'm sleeping, I just hear the siren. I'm okay. I'm like, oh, okay, they are here, so we are okay. We can sleep. Yeah.
And then private lenders urged to cancel Ghana's external debt. That's another story we did in the news. So let's take a quick look at the one on page 4, and then the one about the police and this final one. So where do we start? The story about the twin saga is supposed to be on page 4, but guess what? You know, like happens sometimes.
The story. Can we probably check it again to see?
The story is not on page 4.
Oh, really?
Yeah, baby. So let me just.
But it's an interesting story.
I'll get back to that story. Let's take the one on the police. 3 cops in trouble over fake CFA 190,000. Now, the Ghana Police Service has interdicted 2 officers for their inability to account for fake CFA 190,000 in their possession as exhibits. A 3rd officer involved in the missing fake currency has resigned from the service. He has resigned from the service with the police taking steps to track him down. This was made known, but wait, he resigned.
Yeah.
And they couldn't detect that this person was.
You should have arrested him. You should have arrested him there.
And where is he? So this was made known by the Inspector General of Police, Dr. George Ekufudampare in Accra yesterday when he appeared before Parliament's Public Accounts Committee to respond to audit queries pertaining to the service. He explained that during a routine check by his men in Takwa in 2016, the police came into contact with 4 people in a vehicle, and checks on them led to the discovery of foreign currencies, some denominated in dollars and CFA franc. Yes. The story goes on. Let's also see whether we can find this one on the right page. Okay, so instead of page 4, which is here, I think there was a bit of a typo. It's actually on page 14.
Oh, okay.
The story of the twins.
Okay.
So the placenta tissue of a woman whose other twin baby is alleged to have vanished at birth at the 37 Military Hospital in Accra is said to have been sent to Italy for further examinations. The exercise is to determine whether the 38-year-old woman, Ms. Audrey Ejapong, was delivered of twins, which has generated an amperage of interest among Ghanaians. This was disclosed to the Ghanaian Times yesterday by husband of the twins, Daniel Nau, in Accra. After a series of ultrasonic scans in 2 hospital facilities, like I said, including the 37 Military Hospital, that suggested she was carrying 2 live fetuses of 38 weeks. Ms. Ejapong was delivered of only a baby girl on September 8 last year. So that is the situation there. Final story, Kojo, so you can share your thoughts with me on them. A group of Ghanaian civil society organizations has released a statement calling on international lenders to cancel enough of Ghana's debt to make it sustainable. The CSOs, in a statement copied to the Ghana News Agency, called on Ghana to be supported by the G20, the Paris Club, as we know, and UK to stay in default on all external creditors who refused to accept the scale of debt cancellation needed. And that's where we find ourselves. We've missed out on some Eurobond interest payments of over, I think, about 41 million, which we should have been paying, but we've not been able to on the back of the economic downturn. Your thoughts on these? Well,
the twin saga is a troubling one.
Twins or no twins?
Yeah, because if parents are expecting twins, I mean, they've done their scans, one of them being at the same facility.
Yeah.
So it means that they did like 2 scans, right? I remember my first girl, we did the scan and it was going to be a boy.
Oh.
But we did only one.
I mean, they get it wrong sometimes.
No, we did only one. We didn't do two.
Yeah.
So we needed to do another one.
And sometimes the babies do you know Katawadi also?
Okay.
So when you're going for the ultrasound,
yeah, you know,
they clasp the legs when you can't determine their sex. That's just on the lighter weight.
So when I got one, she turned to a girl. We said that no, maybe we should have repeated it to see whether we can confirm it was a boy or a girl. But that's fine. But these people, they did it twice. Can they get it wrong like two times? Can it happen? That. I mean, like in this case, two scans show that they are twins. Then she delivers and it's only one. And I'm asking, can the scans get it wrong twice and do two different facilities?
So medically, unless, I mean, I'm no medical person, I'm not a doctor, but I am surmising that unless maybe the other person or the other infant, the fetus they were seeing was maybe not a fetus. You know, sometimes, and I'm just conjecturing here, I'm not suggesting anything, and I'm very aware of the sensibilities of the different parties involved. Both the hospital facility, which is claiming it hasn't done any wrong, and the couple who feel aggrieved. But I have had instances of people, for example, who have thought they were pregnant only to find out maybe it was a fibroid or something else. There. So I cannot sit here and determine what it was. But if two facilities, I think it raises quite some interest. If a private, and that's the interesting thing, the private facility confirmed there were twins. There was a reconfirmation from the same outfit, the 37 military hospital. So now it remains to be seen. And I think there should be access to the scans, the ultrasound scans, for further analysis and all of that.
But it's good that they've taken it to Italy for further analysis. You look at the parents are bent on really getting to the conclusion of this matter. Because if scans, including your own, tells us that we should expect twins and only one comes out, it's okay for the parent to want to doubt it. You know, that, well, we've been told that we should expect twins. Why are we getting only one now? And maybe we should find a way of solving this. Can there be a family member in the delivery room? Because I remember I was in the second one. I was there when she was being delivered. Although I got out at a point, you know. So can we arrange such that in every delivery, would have a family member there to avoid all of these?
But that would be curious. That would be curious because there are times when maybe someone came in at a certain point, or the woman, maybe surgery is being conducted. You now have to go and wear the overalls or the garb, you know, to prevent any contamination or germs and all of that. I mean, there are so many scenarios which would impede such an arrangement.
Aren't we getting this one too many?
We're getting one too many, I agree.
Or can the facilities have it such that as a father or a family member, I can be somewhere watching television, like TV.
Okay, watching as the process goes on.
Yeah.
That is another option.
So that everybody will be clear in his or her mind that, well, this is what I got. But for us to go and then come and then be, we've heard this story is one too many. That, I give birth to two, it's messing. Sometimes they will give birth to only one, but then the story is, stillbirth. You know, then they will ask, okay, so
that is also there.
So where is it?
If the child was stillborn, let me see the stillborn child.
Exactly.
You know, that is there.
You don't get to see it.
And there's also that trade that goes on, you know, and I'm sad to say this, still very cautious when it comes to the sensibilities and sensitivities of people. But you know that it's been said that some people traffic babies and all of that for all kinds of nefarious purposes. Sometimes it's because some people want babies and there are people trying to connect them to, and they are selling, we've
had those stories in this country.
So it becomes problematic when they happen because then people are asking, hey, has someone pocketed some sum of money with on the back of our misery, our agony? You get it?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a valid concern, and I think the hospital ought to deal with it decisively.
Exactly. Let a family member watch what's happening. If the baby is stillborn, the family member will see it on the screen that, and will confirm that, Charlie, when the baby came. They did everything they could. I watched this movie. The baby was not doing anything, was not moving, was not crying when it was born. Then the nurse had to tap the back, you know, before.
Like they usually would sometimes when it comes to breathing.
So if they do all of that and the baby doesn't, the person watching, your family member who's watching, will see it clearly and can confirm or deny that, this thing really happened or did not. So this story
and likely would see the body being wheeled out
and
everything,
and I
follow up on the
I think that no
processes.
matter what happens, a family member should see the baby before it is taken to wherever, like, so that we can avoid these problems of, oh, it was stillbirth. If it was stillbirth, can a family member confirm or deny that it was before you do whatever you have to? There was this story in the Western region, and a young lady was complaining in similar fashion that you say you have buried my, just show me. It wasn't. So really, some of these issues, for us to deal with them, I think that the hospital should create avenues for family members to sort of witness what's happening. Is it to allow,
I think
because
that closure is important. We have just about some 9 minutes, but that closure is important to, and also to get some faith in our medical facility. So people don't always go there. I mean, can you imagine a pregnant woman going there and fearing? Already, pregnancy comes with so much turmoil, and then being afraid, being anxious because, hey, are they going to do something to my baby or something of the sort? Now, this is not to paint black our medical professionals.
We're only using past experiences.
But some of these take away from that professionalism we expect from them. Let's quickly look at the daily graphic.
Okay, now 1 year after PRT explosion, victims grateful cry for more help. Cathedral Bruhaha, we cannot all have our way. Trustees, chairman, and GHS rolls out latest COVID-19 campaign. Health Minister calls for review of NHIS Act. This is a big call, you know. Now, while 46-year-old Joseph Kobnahin Jr. is fighting for his life, some families are still mourning the loss of 16 relatives and loved ones a year after disaster struck Apiate, a community near Bogoso in the Prisiahuni Valley district in the Western region. Today marks exactly a year since the incident, which wiped out almost the entire community of about 1,000 residents and left almost half of the residents with injuries. Daily graphic checks indicate that 16 people are still receiving medical treatment. Some of the survivors of the tragedy are still fighting for their lives in hospitals, while others now live with permanent disabilities such as visual and hearing impairment. And Ben, they are calling for more support. You remember the other time that the minister was there, they said, well, can we get more support because our lives are still not the way they have to. So that's Apiate resident calling for more support from our from all of us. So if you can, just extend your help to Apiate. Now, again, every day it looks like we are hearing something about the cathedral. Today I'm hearing that we will be borrowing to complete the facility. That's according to Dr. Joyce. I saw it on the JoyNews when you were presenting the news. I saw it on
Sammy, I'll not even allow you to. I mean, we're now going to borrow. Look, as I share my blunt thoughts this morning, I'll be talking about 400 million euros that Egypt is going to use to put up a state-of-the-art facility that will build their economy. And we're going to spend about $400 million. Mind you, this facility has quadrupled over in terms of cost. And we're going to borrow.
It's interesting. I mean,
we're going for an IMF program, and now we want to. Let me hold my horses. You go ahead.
All right. So that's it. Let me try and bring you. It says the chairman of the board of trustees of National Cathedral Project, Apostle Professor Kojo, has explained that given the membership of the board and the divergent views they present, it is not possible for all members to have their way.
Oh, the Dagwood Mills angle. Right.
Now, that, however, does not also mean that their opinions are not considered or respected. In a press statement in reaction to the resignation of the presiding bishop of the Lighthouse Group of Churches, Bishop Dagwood Mills, Apostle Onyina acknowledged that every leader had an understanding of issues that must be respected. Blah, 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 blah. So that's how it is. But I've seen a friend of mine here. You know the New Year School? The director of the 74th Annual New Year School and Conference, Dr. Simon Peter Kafuya-Heto.
I see.
Used to be my friend in UCC. This guy
used to be your friend. Is he still your friend?
Okay, he's still my friend. He used to be my close buddy when I was in UCC. This guy's story will just blow you off. How he was able to get to a PhD. I mean, his story may be
one of those stories.
We have to tell it.
One of those stories.
Yeah. We have to. So Dr. Simon Peter Kafuya-Heto. Good morning to you. His senior brother is Professor Dennis Aheto of UCC, the fisheries, the guy into coastal, the Charlie. Yeah. They are two sharp guys. So my greetings to all of you. Yeah, let's move on.
Let's check out a few more stories and it will be a wrap for me. New Crusading Guide now. Council of State members' assets go on auction. NPP opens fire on Mahama over 1D, 1F. And Christian Council implores government to suspend debt restructuring program. All of those there. Let me just take a quick look at this one. The Christian Council of Ghana has called on the government to suspend its debt restructuring program to allow for broader stakeholder consultations. And quoting that release, if you like, after various discussions with some stakeholders on Ghana's economy, we're convinced that the whole process needs to be suspended until broader consultations have been made, the council said in a statement issued on Thursday, 19th January 2023, which is yesterday. And again, back to that story, NPP flag bearer race. No, not that one. It's about, let me just get to where it is. The Council of State bits in there. Sometimes when it's not mentioned which page it is on.
It's quite difficult.
You now start trying to play the tracking game. Okay, so we can skip that story for now, but that's it. To do with the Christian Council. Just a quick one though. How do you think 1D, 1F has performed? You know, recently, sugarcane growers were complaining that the Commander Sugar Factory was not buying their sugarcane. And so they are, because there was an arrangement to sell. You remember we were told again that Commander would be back on the road. And it's not been. And now they are begging the Akpetishi local gin distillers
to buy from them.
Charlie, yes, sir, Mumbeto.
It's serious. I mean, these stories.
But the other stories I have
there's a work
already.
There's a work being put together by Richard Kojo on this 1D, 1F. So people should look out for that documentary. I feel that it was a brilliant idea, but like we always do in this country, on paper we are so good. Look, all our plans on paper, if we were to implement them accordingly.
Ghana will be one of the
best
my
countries. Goodness. But what have we done? When it comes to implementation, zero. Like 1D, 1F, we allowed people, it's good. People have set up companies and all of factories, all of that. But running it has become a problem because they didn't have all the monies that were promised them. So if a bank accepts that, you say this project is bankable, what do? Do you stifle them of the funds? I'm not sure that is how you want to recoup your money. Is that it? Because there are stories of, oh, my project was accepted, I started, but the monies are not coming. And several of them are going through those challenges. So really, what did we gain in
We have a minute.
To do this. Let's do the daily graph. And there's this story here that will be of interest to all of us. Motorway reconstruction starts soon. Another promise. Now, the Minister for Roads and Highways, Kwesi Amoakwanta, has hinted of plans by the government to soon rebuild a 19.5-kilometer motorway linking the harbour city of Tema to Accra after going beyond its useful life. The multi-purpose highway, which was designed to last for 50 years, was opened to traffic in November 1965 under the administration of former President Kwame Nkrumah. It is a vital link, blah, 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 blah. Now, the minister told the members of the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament Thursday that the motorway construction project would have 10 lanes and 4 interchanges to help cut traffic jams and the cost of doing business. So that's it. He says that they're going to start very, very soon. I don't know how soon this will be, but I wanted to have more, to be given timelines, but I'm not seeing any timelines there. But we would want to end with sport, because yesterday Ghana recorded its first win in the Chan competition.
Yeah, 3-1.
Exactly. We came back.
They actually scored us first.
Yeah, so we came.
But we picked up a red card.
But we still won.
Daniel Efri also.
But we still won, so it was good that we won.
He was one of our goal scorers.
He scored the second goal through a penalty. His name was interchanged, but it's still Daniel Efri Barnier who scored that goal. So it has to be noted. Again, businessman splashes $2.6 million on Ronaldo Messi VIP ticket. I'm told that the Saudi government, so they played the game yesterday. The Saudi government auctioned that ticket and said that whoever buys that ticket, you have access to both Ronaldo and Messi and have access to the changing room, the dressing rooms. And this guy bought it for $2.6 million. Some people are doing something right somewhere, which we as a country should probably learn and start doing something. They bought Ronaldo and see what they are doing to their league. They said, okay, Messi, come, let's play at a testimonial match. we are selling just a ticket for $2.6 million. If we are getting $2.6 million into our economy, do you know what it will do? But do we have the funds to buy these players? It is time we start thinking big.
Yeah, someone would have taken a kickback and the entire deal would have.
Would have, whoa.
Kojo Grace, thank you for joining the conversation. Right before we knock off, let me just let you know this morning, I'll be sharing my blunt thoughts titled Ghana's Leadership Crisis, Why Our Political Class Must Be Given the Sack. Ghana's Leadership Crisis, Why Our Political Class Must Be Given the Sack.
Something I wouldn't miss.
But up next, on Prime Take today, Fentuo Tahiru. Fentuo speaks with Ibrahim Sadiq, who's a midfielder with Swedish side BK Häcken. After this, of course, we've got blunt thoughts.